It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Breakfast. Up to a Friday morning, talking all things real estate around Australia. And you can hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts and Amazon. If you've had a really super busy week, well, the weekend just about here. Just got to get through today, November the 22nd. And if you're in the price bracket of 700 grand and trying to buy, well, buyers in that range can still find opportunities in over 200 suburbs around Australia's capital cities, excluding, of course, Sydney, and that is according to the Domain House Price Report. Now, they say that while the list of affordable areas has shrunk, pockets of value remain, primarily in outer suburbs and new development zones. For instance, Melton in Melbourne, 30 k's from the CBD. We talked about this, did a whole podcast on Melton. That has a median house price of 470k. Hey, that's not bad, is it? And it really emphasises, which we also talked about, the importance of infrastructure to support growth in these sprawling areas. We're kind of going to do that right now, in fact, and take you into one of those regional areas and catch up with Simon Burns. Now, he won the most properties sold in regional residential, and he's from First National Real Estate, Latrobe, east of Melbourne. So a very good morning to you, Simon. Welcome to the Real Estate Breakfast and congratulations.
No, thank you. And it's great to be on the podcast.
Whereabouts exactly is the east of Melbourne?
So we're based in Gippsland, which is about an hour and 45 from Melbourne, heading east. So heading towards probably about half an hour, 45 minutes from Warragul.
So you must have put in a pretty big effort here, for 2024, taking our top agent for most properties sold regional residential. That's a lot of work, I would imagine.
It was a bit of a surprise to me. The last few years, I feel like we've just been working, head down, bottom up, and just grinding. And for the last 12 months, it has been harder. Buyer sentiment has been challenging and people are nervous to buy. But I think we offer really good value for money out here regionally. You can see that in the numbers of properties I've sold in the last 12 months.
So perhaps let's just sort of reflect. I mentioned Melton, which is also in your region. It's a good example of people still getting into these regional areas. So perhaps just talk about the highs and the lows for you in 2024.
Looking back at the last 12 months, we've seen that periods of time you could tell buyer sentiment and even vendor sentiment, days on market has pushed out. During that COVID period, our average time on the market was about 20 days, and we've seen that push out to about 182 days. So vendors are getting nervous and we've seen prices come back. It's offering good value for people right now out here.
What about those buyers' agents? They're being, I think, fair to say, a little bit proactive around Victoria. We know a few of them, and regional Victoria is a bit of a hotspot. Gippsland, which is where you are, the rental yield is not doing too badly.
Again, going back to COVID, we had a lot of people coming out regionally buying, and then it quietened right off for us. And we had buyers advocates, and then they disappeared out of the market and went to those areas like Brisbane and Darwin and South Australia and Perth. But only in the last kind of 8 weeks, we've seen an influx of buyers advocates back to the market chasing that rental yield. You can still buy a property in our market for around $300,000. And with that, we'd estimate your rental return would be somewhere around that $380 a week to $400 a week rent. It is enticing for those chasing those rental yields right now.
Gee, what are you getting for that price bracket?
They're older homes and they're kind of 70s built, 60s built, and even like there's some, you can still get a brick veneer, and some of those are around that 350 to 400 mark. Yeah, like they are presenting as good value again.
That's not too bad. A lot of first-time buyers are going to be saying, wow, okay, we can afford to go right now. Tell us about 2025. How optimistic are you for a fantastic year where you are?
I think the conditions for like regional Victoria are great. My feeling is that people kind of disappeared for a while, but they're coming back to our market. With these buyers advocates, obviously the investors are seeing the value now. And my outlook with interest rates and things, I think it's all up and up for us.
All right, Simon. Well, congratulations on that award from last week. And thank you so much for coming on to the Real Estate Breakfast. Enjoy your upcoming weekend.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
We help to break down real estate every day to help you better understand the Australian property market.
And right now it's time for another 30-second property tip. We are going to Adrian Vasallo from Stone Real Estate in Newtown this morning. And good morning to you, Adrian. What have you got for us this morning?
Hey, Craig. Thanks for having me again. One tip that I would recommend is on an auction day from a buyer's perspective. Just be emotionally present. It can be quite intimidating, particularly when you've got the auctioneer and dependent on how many people are present. Confidence is key, and just being aware of your surroundings. So I tend to find a lot of bidders would be, very quiet and monotone. Articulate it, have confidence, and just be aware of what you're saying also, because a lot of the times people get too immersed and wrapped up in the auction activity and they forget what they're doing. So it's very important to be present and just have confidence on the day.
You can join the conversation every week on the Real Estate Podcast.
Australia's top real estate agents, firms and projects have been celebrated at the annual REA Group Excellence Awards. And we're catching up right now with Manoli Nicolas, who took out the gong for the top commercial agent in Brisbane. G'day there, Manoli. Great to have you on.
Thank you very much, Craig.
So tell us a little bit about the awards night, walking away a bit of a winner.
Yeah, winner this year. Last Thursday was the awards night. Very entertaining evening. There was around 200 agents in Melbourne for the awards night. It was a good night.
And this comes now off the back of you deciding to bite the bullet and go into business for yourself. Bit of a scary time for anybody opening up a business. But you've decided, as far as commercial is concerned, it's positive enough for you to do that.
Correct, yeah. After 12 years at one of the national brands, Tasman and I, my business partner, went out on our own 4 months ago. Absolute perfect timing in our opinion. The market still is extremely strong. There's a lot of movement both in the sales and leasing market. We don't see any issues within the next 10 years.
Well done. Yeah, it always takes a brave person to start any business, so congratulations for that. We should, while we've got you there, maybe take a look at the commercial market. You're saying at the moment that there is a bit of a significant uptake of fully furnished and fitted out office space ready to go.
Correct. At the moment, we're seeing uptake of fully fitted, furnished, turnkey, key ready, walk in for a business, put your laptop down and start working. In terms of rate or turnaround time for those offices, they are being leased and sold at twice the speed of a vacant office.
And what about rental values? You've seen stable increase in rental values in the industrial market. We haven't spoken about the industrial market for some time, so talk to that.
The industrial market has had significant increase in rental values over the last 3 years. In some suburbs, they've seen 40 to 50% minimum growth on a per square metre rate. Most of that has come off the back of Brisbane being quite flat for 8 years before COVID. After COVID, we've seen rental increases in industrial and office more recently.
All right, so it sounds to me like you're right across the commercial side. I just want to ask you about office space because of this whole work from home. You're obviously doing reasonable numbers by the sound of it with people leasing office space.
100%. We are located in the southeast of Queensland, of Brisbane more specifically. We cover all of Brisbane. The most significant uptake that we have at the moment is around 8 Mile Plains and heading out of the city anywhere from Wollongong to Salisbury through to Upper Mount Gravatt coming to 8 Mile Plains is probably the busiest office market that we're seeing at the moment.
And you're expecting clearly for 2025 for that to grow. Something we don't talk about very often is parking. It's an area that you've seen dramatic increase in. Tell us about that.
The demand for car parking has always been present. We're seeing a significant increase in demand and tenants and owner-occupiers, if buying a building, trying to secure as much car parking as possible. More specifically with regards to buildings within 40 kilometres of the CBD, there is a concern with the Olympics coming to Brisbane that it is a very good idea to secure as much car parking as possible in leases from now.
Do you sell single car parks? Because from time to time you see those for some amazing prices in Sydney.
We do. Recently, within the last 6 months, mainly sold at Spring Hill. There's strata-titled car spaces, car parking lots in that suburb, which is only one suburb out of the city. Off the top of my head, the last sale we did was about 48,000. I still see that as being significantly undervalued.
Just goes to show, a car park is worth gold. Well, Manoli, thanks so much for coming on to the Real Estate Breakfast this morning. Congratulations taking out that top gong, top commercial agent there in Brisbane, and good luck with 2025, which is not too far away.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Every morning from 6 a.m. across Australia, we deliver you the latest property news, commentary and predictions from Perth to Cairns and from Melbourne to Brisbane, 7 days a week, only on the Real Estate Podcast.
You have mentioned Australia is unlikely to meet the 1.2 million homes target. Perhaps just talk through the most significant obstacles that the government needs to address right now.
I think first and foremost, we need to address the taxation of new housing. Unfortunately, property taxation in this country is in part a key driver of the affordability crisis, and other infrastructure charges are just driving up affordability.
Let's talk about some of the steps that can be taken to accelerate the supply of these skilled workers for the construction industry.
I think some of our main points of advocacy are that what we need to do is have a wide-scale national campaign between federal government and industry that really promotes not just the viability but the benefits of a career in residential building.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.